be on the highway right beside you. Florida's interstates are freeways for felons, human traffickers, and drug smugglers. Tonight, 8 on Your Side rides along with the troopers tasked with taking them on a detour to jail. Good evening, I'm Keith Cate.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us.
The border wars are here in Florida, and it is not just on our shores.
Increasingly, the bad guys are using our highways, possibly in the lane right next to you, to move drugs and people who arrived in America illegally. That's why the state put together a multi-agency strike force to put the brakes on them. In the first year, strike teams made dozens of arrests and seizures, including 8 pounds of fentanyl, 5 pounds of meth and other drugs, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash.
They've also made dozens of human trafficking arrests, and with people coming into the state from the Mexican border through Arizona and Texas, right into Florida on our major highways.
And tonight we have an exclusive look inside. 8 on Your Side's Jeff Patterson rode along with that strike force as they targeted human traffickers and drug dealers on the road. Jeff, fascinating.
Yeah, these Florida Highway Patrol troopers never know from day to day who they will be pulling over or who they will encounter. They may pull over someone who is just driving a little fast or who are just making some kind of a traffic violation, but they are also trained to look deeper, finding drugs and people who are being brought into our state illegally.
There are more than 1,400 miles of interstate in Florida, and on any given day, those highways are used to transport drugs and people entering our country illegally. In Martin County, a state trooper makes a basic traffic stop.
So basically, it's a traffic stop conducted for a traffic violation.
Take a closer look, and you'll see the troopers are now focused on several bottles of Windex, but something just doesn't look right. The troopers have discovered a shipment of liquid meth.
The liquid meth was found in Windex bottles, and that's to try to keep you from thinking that that's what that is.
A field test confirms the illegal substance, but it was initially just a visual inspection that led to the arrest.
Right next to the illegal substance that had the meth in it was a valid Windex bottle that didn't, and the colors are different. You can visually see that it's not the same thing.
The troopers take 2 people into custody. One is a man with a long criminal history.
After speaking with the individual, they learned that he's a convicted felon. They found a firearm in the car. He's got a lengthy criminal history for drugs.
This is a special strike force of the Florida Highway Patrol, including the FDLE, local sheriff's offices, and the Border Patrol.
We chose this area as one that we haven't been to in quite some time.
This week, they are in Martin County. The Florida Highway Patrol has 26 of these specialized teams.
They're strategically placed throughout the state to combat and to intercept or prevent criminals and illegal commodities from traveling up and down the highways.
In a recent case in Hernando County, state troopers found a vehicle packed with 7 men. None spoke any English, and none had any identification. This was the 5th human smuggling case on Interstate 75 in just 2 weeks, as troopers have often focused on Sumter and Hernando counties.
Sumter County is unique in one in particular aspect, that it has I-75 and the Turnpike.
Those major highways funnel into the rest of the state.
It's kind of a crossroads, if you will, for smuggling.
The Highway Patrol Task Force charged 42 people with human smuggling in a 1-year period, captured 38 fugitives, and seized 30 guns. But it's not an easy job. We watched the strike force pull over a truck driver, thinking they were about to make a drug arrest.
So a trooper made a stop on this pickup truck, and the driver told them that he was driving up to Atlanta pulling this load and being paid for $600. The size of the load, the amount he's being paid, the distance traveled simply doesn't add up to these state troopers, and a specially trained dog alerted that there might be drugs somewhere inside of this trailer.
They closely examined every part of the vehicle and trailer, even using a portable X-ray device to look into hidden areas of the truck. Eventually, they found no drugs and released the driver. But it's the stops where they do find drugs, illegal weapons, and felons that keep them going. And for most in this special strike force, it's not just a job, it's personal.
make the roads safer. A lot of us have kids. All of us have family members, of course, that we want to keep safe, and it hits home more often than not.
Sergeant Ogden says his team lives to do this job. They're chosen because they're highly motivated and successful at what they do. At the same time, people involved in human trafficking or selling illegal drugs are motivated to do what they do, each trying to keep a step ahead of the other.
Keith and I had the same question, Jeff, and that is, how do they know who to pull over? What are they looking for? What tips them off?
Well, initially it's just a regular traffic stop. Somebody driving a little too fast, somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, just somebody making an illegal action on the highway that starts it. But then when someone is a little bit more nervous than they should be, the strike force moves into action. Somebody breathing a little heavy or sweating and so forth. So we all get nervous when we get pulled over. At least, you know, I do if I get a traffic ticket. But it's the people who are a little bit more nervous, a little extra nervous. That's when they bring in these specially trained dogs and they start searching for the drugs, checking for an ID, asking questions of everyone in the car. And in one case, Sergeant Ogden tells me they rescued a victim of sex trafficking just by asking the right questions.
They are trained to do that, and it wasn't just luck the day that you were there that you saw something happen. You say this could happen every day.
Every single day with this strike force. They are highly motivated.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Excellent job.